Okay, well, welcome everybody to this meeting of the virtual CICS user group. Yeah, I'm Trevor Eddles. I'm CEO of a company called iTechEd Limited. We're a mainframe consultancy analysis and technical authoring organisation. We're responsible for the content on the virtual CICS website, and we produce the newsletter. And the website then can be found at virtualcics.hostbridge.com. And if you've got friends who use IMS, we also look after the virtual IMS user group too. Anyway, let's start by running through the agenda for this meeting. As usual, most of it will be taken up by the presentation. And today we've got two guest presenters. We've got Satish Tanna and Nina Mirski-Fitton, and they're offering managers at IBM. For the CICS tools. And their presentation today is called Driving CICS Development, Operations and Management Success with CICS Tools. A copy of the slides from this presentation will be on the website later today. And if you missed any of our previous meetings, you can download copies of those presentations from our website too. And of course, you can listen again to the whole presentation. There's a link on the resources page of the user group website. So that's virtualcics.hostbridge.com/resources.htm. And following Satish and Nina's presentation and any questions you have for them, we'll move on to the latest CICS news and CICS related articles and blogs. Feedback requests is there to remind me to ask you for your feedback about this virtual meeting. And then I'll give you the dates and times for the next couple of meetings. So that's the plan, and I'm anticipating that it'll last just under an hour. So, as I said, today's presentation is from Satish Tanna and Nina Mirski-Fitton. Satish is the offering manager for CICS Tools based in Hursley. He's had many roles in his long career with IBM, including performance analyst for CICS-XM, services consultant for CICS and CICS-XM, and technical specialist for CICS Tools. And he's worked with CICS Tools for the past 18 years. And he's currently technical specialist and offering manager for these products. Nina is the Associate Offering Manager for the CICS Tools portfolio. She's also based in Hursley, and she's spoken at several user conferences about how the CICS Tools offerings can support customers with managing and monitoring their CICS workloads in modern environments. And she's published a number of pieces on topics such as CICS data visualization and workload optimization. So, guys, I'd like to thank you very much for being with us today. And what I'd like to do now is pass control of the meeting over to you. So thank you, Satish and Nina. I need to stop sharing, and you can now share yours, Satish.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. Nina, if I can hand over to you for starting the session.
Absolutely. And hello, everyone. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. So as Trevor said, Satish and I are IBM offering managers for the CICS Tools portfolio. And our aim today is to give you an overview of how some of the offerings can help lower risk or increase efficiency at different stages in your application life cycles. So Satish, please could you move on? Thank you. So we'll start with a very quick portfolio summary, and then the main bulk of the presentation is structured in 3 sections. We'll start with creating an application or modernizing an existing one, and then look at monitoring and managing applications and CICS systems that are up and running, and finally look at troubleshooting. And for each section, I'll start with a brief overview and then hand over to Satish, who'll provide more details about the offerings and how they can support in these areas. Because of the number of areas that we want to cover today, not everything is covered in the same depth. So if there are elements where you want more details or you have a question about something specific, please do ask and we can go into more detail in those areas. There's time, as Trevor said, at the end for questions or for a bit more of a deeper dive. And let's get started. So I will start, as I said, with a brief overview just for anybody unfamiliar with the CICS tools portfolio. So these are our 6 key tools designed for monitoring and managing CICS systems. And between them, they'll let you tune your CICS systems for optimal performance and productivity. So we'll go along the bottom row. We've got CICS Performance Analyzer, provides CICS systems and application performance reports and analysis. Interdependency Analyzer, which allows you to see all of your dynamic resource relationships and affinities, runtime command flow, etc. Configuration Manager allows you to control access to resource definitions, to bundles, back out changes, and do cold start analysis. And then Deployment Assistant, which is a discovery tool that allows you to visualize all of your CICS topography and then take actions such as duplicating regions. And those 4 offerings along the bottom row comprise something called the Optimization Solution Pack 2. And then at the top, we have our 2 VSAN tools, VSAN Recovery, which provides a way to keep your systems running if there's any form of disaster, and VSAN Transparency, which supports migrating from VSAN to DB2 without the need for either a rewrite or a huge all-at-once migration. So that is a very brief, 1-sentence introduction to each offering, but we're going to revisit them now and look at where in the process they're most valuable. So we'll start with creating new or modernizing existing applications. So I'll do a quick overview, and then, as I said, Satish will go into more detail. So when you're creating a new application or modernizing an existing one, it's good to have a choice of IDE and to work with tools that will integrate with your existing DevOps or source code management tools. And CICS Configuration Manager for z/OS will help you build your application with all the resource definitions that it needs and integrate with other tools that you might already be using. If you're modernizing an existing application, it's helpful to have a clear understanding of its relationship to other existing applications. So CICS Interdependency Analyzer can provide you with a runtime view of dependencies and affinities, program analysis and command flow data to help you assess the impact of any changes that you might want to make. And then as you move your application through development and test environments and into production, CICS Configuration Manager provides a way for you to control your resource definitions across diverse environments, even on multiple repositories, and ensure that your application has all that it needs to save you time. And some tasks like packaging and migration can be automated to save you even more time and to ensure consistency. And if you then want to migrate some of your VSAN files to DB2, so to integrate with applications that are already DB2 based, or to integrate with charts and executive dashboards, VSAN Transparency will enable you to migrate just the files of your choice with no reliance on source code or program changes. So I'm going to hand over to Satish for a little bit more detail on the technical features now.
Okay, thank you, Nina. So, as Nina said, as users look to modernize their applications or creating new CICS applications, then a tool like Configuration Manager provides the ability to control the resource definitions. It provides a single point of control for those resource definitions, and those definitions could be on CSDs or CPSM repository or on ZFS. You're able to manage all of those from a single point of control. And you can streamline the whole definition process by using the packaging and migration capabilities that Configuration Manager provides. You're able to control access to those definitions to ensure standards for definitional attributes as well, using site-specific standards that you can specify. And developers are able to copy and move definitions across from development to test environments, and it streamlines the whole process. And having moved those definitions across those environments, they're able to do installs and new copies as they continue with the developing of their applications, and they can continue with testing those applications. So provides a very streamlined way of managing resource definitions through the development lifecycle. The other tool that Nina mentioned is the CICS Interdependency Analyzer. Now, if you're looking to modernize your CICS application, then you need a clear understanding of the interrelationships within that application. And that's what CICS-IA provides. So it has a runtime view using the discovery capability of CICS-IA. And it gives you details of all of the interrelationships between the resources in that CICS application. It has a plug-in to the CICS Explorer, which provides you an intuitive way of looking at the interrelationships. You can see what resources are being used by your transactions and programs. And so it helps with faster implementation of any changes to that application. If you are enabling high availability for your applications and want to look at affinities, then CICS-IA can also provide details of affinities within those applications, and you can address those as well. It can help to identify programs that would be good candidates for service enablement as well. It can give you details about resource usage by your programs and transactions on the platforms that they're running. Coming up this quarter is we're looking to provide RESTful APIs in CICS-IA. So this is what we're looking to deliver via a support pack during first quarter of 2021. So RESTful APIs is a very simple architectural style. So we will be looking to provide a web application that can be hosted on a web server. And so users can fire off HTTP requests to invoke these REST APIs, and they would have access to the rich source of information that CICS-IA provides. CICS-IA has collected a large amount of information about the runtime details of your application. So these API requests can be made, and you can obtain all of these details which come back as XML or JSON format. And the advantages of these REST APIs is that it enables you to use modern visualization tooling. It has a loose coupling between the UI and the business logic, and it enables you to integrate the rich information that CICS-IA provides with your existing development tooling. And so you can generate conflicts reports and help with reporting of your applications. And it can help you with creating test cases for your applications through the development lifecycle. So here's an example of the kind of information that CICS-IA currently provides in the CICS-IA plugin. So these are details of thread safe issues that programs that may have. And using the RESTful API, you can provide more visualization and detailed reporting for these thread safe candidates, and have a better understanding of what's required to make those programs thread safe. So Nina also mentioned that in some cases you may have a need to migrate VSAN data to DB2. This may be due to you wanting to provide 24/7 access, or you want to integrate that data with with other applications and be able to access it from other applications or new applications. So VSAN Transparency provides a low-risk migration capability for that VSAN data. Low risk in the sense that you don't need to migrate all of the data in one go. You can migrate one file at a time, and your applications continue to run as normal, with some data in VSAN, some data in DB2. So it provides a transparency layer such that you do not need to change your CICS or batch applications, and you can get the data to DB2 that much faster, and so it's a low risk solution. It also has a dual mode testing facility, so you can have the applications running with the data in VSAN and DB2 to make sure that there are no any issues in terms of consistency between the data in VSAN and DB2 following the migration. So those are some of the tools that can help as you are developing, modernizing applications or creating new applications for your CICS environment. So I hand over now to Nina for the next part, which is the monitoring and managing applications and CICS systems.
Thanks, Satish. So as before, I'll do a brief intro and then hand back to Satish for more detail. So, there are several ways that the CICS tools products can help with day-to-day running and management of applications in CICS systems. So CICS Configuration Manager, you've seen how it can help with developing applications, but it's useful here too. It enables you to create, edit and manage CICS resource definitions wherever they reside, and to identify those that aren't in use any longer. And it also enables you to invoke standards enforcement and roles-based approvals. And as mentioned before, it can help with assessing the impact of cold starts, so to help avoid potential disruption or downtime. CICS IA, useful here again for that runtime view of command flow and application topology. Very useful when managing your applications and looking for those that could be API enabled or to remove affinities from them. And then CICS Performance Analyzer. It's a system performance reporting and analysis solution. It offers both summary and detailed reporting, and you can view that in a number of ways. We've got some more details in how you might look at those reports later on. And it's useful for lots of reasons, statistics and performance alerts, trend analysis, capacity planning, evaluating the impact of changes that have been made, and lots of other reasons. And then finally, CICS Deployment Assistant is a tool that would allow you to discover and compare or quickly clone regions. So useful for development or testing or production. And I'm going to hand back to Satish for a little bit more detail.
Thank you, Nina. So a bit more detail about how Configuration Manager helps when you're managing your CICS systems and definitions. So as we know, it does provide that single point of control for all of those resource definitions, which could be residing on multiple repositories across complex environments. It can help to automate the whole process of managing those definitions, and the packaging and approvals process that it provides enables better control over the life cycle of these resource definitions. It uses security and standards enforcement so that security to control what definitions can be modified, and standards to ensure attributes of definitions are adhered to within your CICS environments. It has transformation rules and migration schemes such that these resource definitions can be promoted across environments, and the process of modifying the attributes of those definitions is automated, and that means that there's less chances of human error. And we all know that any human error or any errors on resource definitions that could get into a production environment could create outages or degradations, and those can be very costly. So this is where Configuration Manager, by helping to automate this whole process, helps to reduce any errors and streamlines the whole process. You can also get a detailed understanding of the definitions in your systems today, and do a certain amount of cleanup by identifying definitions that are redundant or are not used anymore. So, for example, definitions that are not part of a group list, groups that are not part of a group list, or definitions that are orphans. So it can help to identify all of those. Now, then, if you look at Interdependency Analyzer, how it helps when you are managing your CICS environments, because it has a detailed understanding of the interrelationships between the resources. It can help to ensure that any changes that are being made to your programs do not result in thread-safe issues or affinity issues within your applications. And many of our customers who use CICS do continue to monitor their CICS applications and use CICS to ensure that changes that are going to result in affinity or thread-safe issues do not get into these applications. It can also help to identify programs that might be good candidates for service enablement, and in terms of controlling the overall development environment, it's a must-have tool. So then we look at how important performance is as you're managing and monitoring your CICS systems and applications, and this is where CICS Performance Analyzer helps. So it has over 250 customizable report forms. It provides detailed performance reporting for CICS transactions that access DB2 or MQ, and it also will give you reporting where your transactions are using CTG, or what's coming up next is support for ZOS Connect. So we're looking to deliver in this first quarter support for reporting of ZOS Connect SMF data. It has transaction tracking reports where your transactions are part of a larger CICS environment. It has transaction profiling reports where you can see before and after changes in CICS systems or hardware changes. You can do a comparison using transaction profiling reports. In terms of trend and capacity planning, it has a historical database where you can compare the performance of an application or a set of transactions as to the way they perform today compared with last month or even last year. And it has a number of interfaces where you can view the performance details. It has a CICS Explorer interface, and you can export the data to CSV or JSON format as well. Nina also mentioned Deployment Assistant. So this is a tool that can help you with creating new CICS systems very quickly. So you can clone CICS regions, and it has a RESTful API that can be used to integrate the whole process of deploying new CICS systems with your existing processes. It can discover existing CICS environments and provide visualization for it. So where you have lost documentation about your CICS environment, or you have inherited an environment, then CICS Deployment Assistant can help you with discovery and visualization of that environment. You can then, also export those details to CSV format for external reporting. It has provisioning wizards as well to help you, CICSplex enable your existing CICS systems. In terms of understanding what TCP/IP ports are being used by your CICS regions, then Deployment Assistant can provide you details of that as well. So I'm now pass on to Nina for the third section, which is to do with troubleshooting.
Thank you, Satish. And obviously we hope that nothing will go wrong with your systems, but if it does, CICS Tools portfolio can help speed up that process of identifying the issue and resolving it, whether it's a minor issue or something a bit more disruptive. So first one on here is CICS Performance Analyzer that Satish was just talking about, and its historical reports can be used to help delve into the root cause of the issue, to identify when and where that issue arose, and to help you look for patterns that might help you avoid the issue occurring again in future. You've got CICS Configuration Manager's audit trail, also allows you to identify when changes were made and to roll back those changes to a point of your choice. And then in the more extreme cases, like physical disaster, CICS VSAN Recovery enables you to restore your CICS data, and it's also a really useful tool for data replication and for backups. So Satish, over to you.
Thank you, Nina. So yes, a bit more detail on how these tools can help with troubleshooting. So as Nina mentioned, CICS Configuration Manager has an audit trail of all changes that are made to resource definitions. So if for some reason a definition causes a degradation or an outage, you would be able to identify which definition it was, what was changed, when it was changed, and who actually changed it. And so that's, that audit trail comes in very useful for that. And if you do need to back out those changes, then with a single click or single command, you can back out a set of changes that may have been made. So this the screenshot here is from the CICS Configuration Manager plugin to CICS Explorer, but it has an ISPF interface as well. And CICS Configuration Manager also has a published API. So if you need to integrate your definition management with existing tooling, then you can do that using the CM API. So when it comes to monitoring and troubleshooting performance in your CICS environment, then CICS Performance Analyzer helps. It has a number of interfaces, and we're seeing here some of the visualization that is available in the CICS PA plugin to the CICS Explorer. But you can also export CICS PA data to external analytics platforms in CSV or JSON format. CICS PA has statistics and performance alerts. So rather than trawling through large volumes of report data, you can use the statistics and performance alerts to quickly highlight any issues with your systems and applications. So using those alerts, you can resolve those problems and bottlenecks before they cause a degradation or an outage on your CICS systems. So it can help to uncover trends that could lead to poor performance or an outage. So I mentioned that in the last year we have provided the capability in CICS PA to output CICS PA reports as JSON format. So this was as a result of a number of customer RFEs. And so this capability was delivered via APAR PH 16158 to CICS PA 5.4. So the type of reports that can be output to JSON lines format is, any of your forms-based reports, list and summary data, statistics, list and summary data, as well as the statistics alerts. So all of those reports can be output in JSON format. And you can then forward that. So we've also provided the ability to specify a TCP/IP address where you can forward that those reports to. So, and as part of this new enhancement, we've provided a new sample Splunk application, and we've provided a report set which you can use to create a set of reports and output them as JSON lines format and send them to this sample Splunk application. And you can use the dashboards within that application for detailed analysis. So these are some of the visualization that is available within those dashboards. And it has system level information, and you can drill down into specific transactions. And on the bottom right-hand side here, you can see some of the alerting that can be visualized as well. And from here, you can drill down into specific alerts and get details of that. So, would definitely recommend downloading that Splunk application. Now, in terms of the changes to CICS-PA, we've provided a new report set that can be used to extract performance and statistics definitions and output them as JSON lines format. And that can go to datasets or ZFS files, or they can be forwarded to a specific TCP/IP address. So you can see details here about how you could specify forwarding details for some of the reports that you generate. So an example process here where you use CICS-PA to create some reports from your SMF data and output as JSON lines, and you specify a TCP/IP port where your Splunk dashboard is running, and that's where you can do visualization and detailed analysis of those reports. So the type of reports that you can output as JSON lines, as I mentioned, you can output performance list, summary data, statistics list and summary data, as well as statistics alerts. So Nina is going to talk about the sample Splunk app and where it's hosted and how you can get hold of that.
Thanks, Satish. Yeah, so the Splunk app that Satish has mentioned is available through the Splunk-based website, which is like the app store for Splunk, or the Splunk app itself. If you just search for CICS Performance Analyzer, it will bring up the CICS-PA app for you to download. It is a completely free app. And one of the benefits of it is that you actually don't need your enterprise to have CICS Performance Analyzer, or even Splunk actually, for you just to experiment with this. So you can download a free version of Splunk yourself that you can run on your own machine or in a Docker container, and then use the sample CICS data that we provide that Satish mentioned, just to experiment with viewing CICS data in Splunk on your own machine. So you can get the sample data if you don't have CICS-PA or you want to try it before you forward your own data to Splunk, from the IBM support pages, and it's the CA10 support pack. And it's just a zip file that you download, gives you the data that you need to get started really. And the same web page also has a link to the Splunk app to make it easier to find, and probably really crucially, a PDF of the user documentation to help you get the most out of this, whether you're using the sample data or your own CICS-PA data. The Splunk app is very much a starting point. So I would really encourage anyone to look at the documentation and use the sample dashboards to customize them to create the visualizations that you want to see for the data that matters for your systems. And because JSON isn't exclusively used for Splunk, you will also find in that user documentation guidance for configuring Logstash, Elasticsearch, and Kibana as well. So those of you using Elasticstack or Elk, the sample data, is not only for use with Splunk, you can try it with those other platforms too. We don't have time to go into lots and lots of detail on this today, but before Christmas, Ezreal Gross did a really thorough presentation on this and exactly how to set up the Splunk application, where to find it, a real walkthrough on how to set it up. So I would recommend looking back through the past presentations here and finding Ezreal Gross's presentation if this is something that you want to look more into and you want to see exactly how to set that up. I'd really recommend looking at that. Yeah, the CA10 page is the one you need as a starting point. Thanks, Satish.
Okay, thank you, Nina. So one thing that I would mention is that the advantages of using CICS-PA to then output JSON lines to Splunk is that with the filtering and the selection criteria that CICS-PA provides, enables you to reduce the volume of data that need to send to Splunk, and that makes the whole process that much more efficient, and rather than streaming huge volumes of SMF data to Splunk. So that's what the feedback that we've had from customers using this new capability in CICS PA and the sample Splunk app. That's the feedback that we've had from customers. So moving on to VSAN Recovery then, in terms of troubleshooting your CICS environment, hopefully you never have a disaster situation where you have a logical or physical corruption of your VSAN files. But if you do, then having VSAN Recovery and using the forward recovery logs that CICS provides, you would be able to very easily recover those files and that VSAN data. So VSAN Recovery enables you to automate the whole recovery process, because any backups that you have of your VSAN files can be registered with VSAN Recovery. So it would have details of all of the backups that are available, and the whole process of recovering those files can be automated using the details about the backups that are available, as well as providing forward recovery. CICS VSAN Recovery is a key component when it comes to replication logging and active. So that logging capability that VSAN Recovery provides, it has this ability to log batch updates to your VSAN files. That makes it a key requirement for replication logging and active. I mentioned that it has this notify support where backups that are taken of VSAN files, they are registered with VSAN Recovery, and so when you build the JCL for recovery of a file, VSAN Recovery has all of the details about the backups that are available, and the whole process of recovering the files can be automated. In addition to those capabilities, VSAN Recovery also has support for backups that have been created by backup while open. So if you're using backup while open for your VSAN files, then VSAN Recovery is able to support recovery for those files as well. So that's all I had. If I hand over to Nina for a summary.
Yeah, thank you very much, Satish. And this is just a summary. We've covered a lot, obviously, so this is just a quick reminder of which tools are useful at each stage, along with links to their respective web pages where you can find out a little bit more information about them. And obviously, Satish and I are always available if you have any further questions later on. If you have any questions now, please feel free to fire away. But thanks ever so much for your time. I really hope this is useful for you.
Okay, smashing. Thank you very much. Have you got some way that you can actually put your email addresses on screen for people if they do have questions later? Can you add it to a slide or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I could add it to here. Let me just add them here. Nina?
It's Nina.Mirski-Fitton support@ibm.com. Thank
Okay.
you.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, no one's actually typed in any questions yet, so I'm just talking slowly to give people a chance to type anything in if they have. If you come up with a question later, you can always email it to me and I'll pass it on, or just on screen now we can see the 2 email addresses if you want to use those. I think I will move on then. If any questions come up sort of straight away, I'll stop and go back to them. But can I say that was great? Thank you very much, Satish and Nina. And as usual, because we're a virtual user group, you're getting a virtual round of applause. Oh, here we are. Judy's asked, where will the slides be available to download? Right, well, I can answer that. They'll be available to download from our website. So that's virtualkicks.hostbridge.com. They'll be in a couple of places, but you'll be able to find them there. And that will be later on today. I'll wait till I've got the recording and then I'll put everything on the website. So for some people, it'll be better to get it tomorrow morning. Other people will be there before you go home tonight. Okay, well, like I say, thank you very much. I'll just take control and run over a few things to finish off the meeting. Okay. Oops. There we are. So news, I haven't actually got any CICS news. If anyone knows any CICS news I should be mentioning on these sessions, if you can send them to me, that would be brilliant. But surprisingly, I haven't seen any articles and blogs. The usual CICS area that's full of blogs hasn't published anything since October. So I've got no articles and blogs to point you in the right direction of at the moment. And again, if you know anywhere else where people are publishing CICS blogs or CICS articles, then please let me know.
So Nina, isn't that changing, that where all of the blogs are kept now?
Hi, yes, a lot of the sites now, they're on the Z community.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's where I usually get them from, and that's just
Okay.
not had any updates recently.
no, I think a lot of people are only returning to work this week.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are issues obviously with COVID and things, so it's perfectly understandable. Okay, moving on then. As always, can I ask for feedback about this meeting? You can comment on anything good, anything you think we can improve on for next time. And my email address is on screen. And if you haven't got any way of writing that down now, if you go to the Contact Us webpage on our website, it'll be there as well. So let's have a look what's coming soon. Our next meeting then will be on the 9th of March. We've got Gene Hudders again. He's president of CTREC Corporation, and he'll be presenting CICS Health Check. What does it entail? And that's going to be quite interesting. And following on that, the next meeting is on the 11th of May. And we've got Russ Tubner, the CEO and co-founder of Hostbridge Technology, and he'll be presenting. Hostbridge, of course, are the people who support and sponsor this user group. Just a reminder that you can keep up to date with what's happening in the world of CICS and on the virtual CICS user group website by following us on Facebook and Twitter, and by joining the virtual CICS group on LinkedIn. The URLs are all on screen, but they're also on the home page of our website. And if you do tweet or anything about this meeting, then the hashtag to use is #virtualCICS. Okay, well, that's all for this meeting of the Virtual CICS user group. Can I thank you all for attending? Thanks to Hostbridge Technology for sponsoring our group. And of course, I'd particularly like to thank Satish, Tanna and Nina Mirski-Fitton for their presentation. That's it. thank you all very much for joining the meeting, and I look forward to seeing you on the 9th of March. So thank you and goodbye.